So you're getting like a lot of push, I would say. I mean, minus 300, 3,000 favorite. Niko Price in your second fight in the UFC is kind of crazy, you know?
Yeah,
You were calling
yeah,
for like
but
Sam Patterson and stuff like that. They threw you a higher ranked guy.
yeah, for sure. And I know I lived up to it, but I didn't know how much that he was gonna test me. I've only trained with people that he's fought, and they telling me you're gonna kill this dude. He ain't got nothing for you. He's washed, this and that. Well, he wasn't washed for sure. And I went out there and showed my toughness and did what I had to do.
Did you think like when you saw the fact that you're minus 3,000, was it like, damn, against Nico, like people are underestimating him? Or like, what was your initial reaction to that? Like, did you think you deserved that almost? Or were you like, that's kind of crazy, like disrespecting Nico?
Well, for me, I don't understand the betting odds and none of that stuff, but once I seen it, my corner, Kyle Crutchmer, Nick, and them, they explaining exactly what it means to me. And I'm just like, it ain't nothing, because, you got people that enter tournaments and they're number one seed, they're expected to do this. And then you got underdogs like me coming and taking everything that they worked for. And that's pretty much what was on my mind. Like, but I reversed the roles and put myself as, being the underdog, being the favorite, and just kept my head down and was ready to go no matter what was going to happen.
Okay, so you kind of flipped the script in your own mind to where
Yeah, for
like you
sure.
didn't have to take on that responsibility of being like the expected winner. You kind of
Yeah.
were like, this is a test for me. Like this guy on paper should almost beat me with all the experience he has, or
No,
something like that.
not should beat me. Ain't nobody gonna beat.
Okay, yeah, that
Ain't
was probably badly
Yeah,
said. Yeah, yeah,
definitely not beat me.
yeah.
But I went out there and got ready, and for the fight before, I had 2 weeks, 11 days, and I got ready, but the confidence wasn't as high as it was because I had almost 2.5 months to know my date. I knew my date, so as long as I'm in shape and I don't have aches and pains, I can go with anybody and do whatever. And obviously there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't need to know about that I'm not going to use as an excuse, like, but Niko Price is definitely a worthy opponent, and I respect him for stepping in there with me.
Okay. As far as the things that are happening behind the scenes, I've heard you mention it a couple times, and I understand if you don't want to like touch on it, but in a way, are you looking to maybe change this going into your next fight, or like are they temporary kind of like hurdles you're kind of dealing with?
Yeah, just temporary. Life has just been hitting me, and I've always just learned to put your head down and deal with it, work hard, and you'll get through it. And obviously that's what happened, but you know, obviously when I used to win in college, I don't care how good it was, my coach would always come to me and be like, you need to do this. We should have been here, boom, boom, and touched here, and it would have been a flawless victory. We didn't get a flawless victory, so we need to go back and work on some more stuff to create that perfect wrestler. And that's how I approach this fight game. None of us are perfect, and obviously shit happens and anything can happen in there when you with fighting top people in the world. And I'm blessed because I know how to prepare myself and get so far ahead of the curve that you know everything else will take care of itself no matter how big the mistake or how crazy something happened. And I think that showed in there in the cage.